Hey guys, and welcome to one more episode of Builder Nation. For today's agenda, we have Nicolas Gaume, co-founder and CEO at Space Cargo Unlimited, a new European startup focused on space manufacturing for Earth. So welcome, Nicolas. Super happy to have you here. Super excited to have this talk today.
Well, it's great to be here. I'm really thrilled, particularly as we made this exciting announcement of this new vehicle called Rev1, which will fly at late 25 and hopefully will be the platform of choice for in-space manufacturing for Earth. So I grew up, I'm French. I grew up in the southwest of France, in a city named Arcachon, in the Bay of Arcachon, nearby Bordeaux, big city known for its wine and to a large degree aerospace industry. So it started right there. I mean, there's a lot of the Ariane rocket engine and a number of key components, and a lot of planes are built in the area. So certainly that kind of nurtured my early days. But I was primarily a computer geek. And I eventually became an entrepreneur at a young age. When I started my first startup, I was late 18-year-old. So I really started when I was 19. And I started a game studio, so quite far away from the space industry all up. That led me to exciting moments, ups and downs. And in 2014, with the experience I had, with the passion for space and of space that I had with my co-founder and friend, Emmanuel, we decided to start Space Cargo Unlimited. And that was only the beginning, because other things happened afterwards, but I'll have a chance to talk about this today.
How did you actually meet Emmanuel, that is your co-founder? I mean, back in 2014, you had already some experience in the startups, but what was the main trigger for you in order to be like, okay, I'm gonna found this exact company?
So Space Cargo Unlimited was my 8th startup. So I had 7 before, and my 3rd one was with Emmanuel. So I started my company as a game studio when I was 18, and it started to grow well. I mean, Apple invested in the company when I was 21. We bet on the game market becoming big, and it did. We bet on Macintosh and Windows becoming the home computing references, and they did. We bet on 3D becoming more important, and it did. So it was kind of a really great few years of success. And Emmanuel started online gaming way before online gaming was a thing. And we started connecting around technology, innovation, and that's how we became friends. And further on, we kept friendship, and certainly we shared complementary skills. So it was great. Emmanuel is fantastic when it comes to translating science into projects. And we both love science. And what really was the first thing that got us going for Space Cargo Unlimited was the amazing amount of research done on International Space Station. And prior to that, on a various set of laboratories in different vehicles. But all this research kind of demonstrated there was a lot of amazing things happening when you recreate the Earth atmosphere and you remove gravity, which is something you can't do on Earth for a long time. So basically, same temperature, same brightness, same pressure, same humidity, without gravity means that life evolves differently, means that some processes related to new materials cannot happen the same way. And it's been tested for decades on the space station, and it's all documented. It's all online. You can check it out yourself. But Emmanuel and I kind of really went deep into it and realized there was an amazing amount of opportunities that we could seize for impactful project back on Earth. And I think one of the things that Emmanuel and I share is a passion for bringing something impactful, useful. And that first project we started was for agriculture. And I can tell you more about it, but that's how we started the journey. What can we do that can be helpful for humans back on Earth in this climate change evolution, and what space can do for us all here?
I mean, you guys mentioned that you are kind of in the field of agriculture, medical field, and then the building new materials. So maybe if you can share a little bit about.
Yeah, so we as a company started by focusing on agriculture. On my mother's side, my grandparents were farmers and were selling fruits and vegetables. So I guess, and they were doing the hard work of farming, which is demanding. And so it's really something that I feel is super important. And obviously, when you look at the Maslow pyramid of needs for humans, the first base is no, it's not Wi-Fi, it's food. But, so with climate change, growing food is more challenging. In some areas of the world, it's very challenging. So we came across a number of scientific research showing that plants could adapt naturally to the environment of space without gravity. And the theory, and that led us to meet a number of researchers. Eventually, we met Michael Lebert, who is a German professor in the FIU Erlangen University of cellular biology. And he's been really passionate by research on space and agriculture for quite a while. So we leveraged that vast knowledge that Michael brought to us. And as we are from Bordeaux, which is a wine country, we realized also that we could possibly do work benefit to all agriculture, but really rooted into viticulture, just because viticulture is a more lucrative agricultural segment. Therefore, there are more researcher, more funding into scientific knowledge, which we could leverage when it comes to exploring something we still very much unknown, which is again the effect of space on living organisms. And doing that, we realized there were many other applications. You mentioned new materials. It is true that new materials is an exciting component. If you blend two materials on Earth, the heavier one goes down, the lighter one goes up because of gravity. You remove gravity and you do the same blend. It's a perfect blend, much more homogeneous, and many other opportunities that we find exciting. And when we realize that to make all this, it remains very complicated because access to space is challenging. And that's changing because of lower cost of launch, because there are many more launchers and price going down. And then we look at what was wrong in the way we're conducting, not so much research, but at scale manufacturing. And the answer was simple: humans. When you put humans in the same space station, same space vehicle, the security, the safety of the humans always prevail. You don't want to lose the astronauts up there. And if you have plants, astronaut, you choose the astronaut. So it's really that obvious. But humans put a set of constraints of complex obstacles for anything manufacturing. You have one electric system on the ISS. It both supports the life function of the astronauts as much as your manufacturing equipment. It's one atmosphere. If a gas goes into the atmosphere of the ISS, it could jeopardize the health of the astronauts. So all these constraints are enormous. That's why we decided to make a fully automated vehicle, which is the one we announced last week.
Well, so thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I mean, I was about to ask you about the newest news about the Rev 1 and how does it works and about the technology. If you can share a little bit about that.
Sure. You should share the video link if you can, by the way, to the vehicle. So we look at multiple options. What we wanted, as I said, was an automated vehicle that would fly for 2 to 3 months, which is an average time that you can have multi-generation of cells. You have enough time to put a 3D printers and manufacture things in space. The principle, it has to take off, fly, and come back. Now, coming back is challenging. It's a set of technology. It's a very challenging thing to come back from our space into Earth. And, we decided to be a fabless organization. So in other words, we decided not to start from scratch and build our own vehicle. We rather use what is best, what works, and kind of make it more performing and more effective for what it is we want to do. Because we also want it to be super dedicated. So basically, no humans on board, leveraging what exists, and fully focused on in-space manufacturing. It happens that the European Space Agency have been funding a program largely with the Italian Space Agency and an amazing company named Thales Alenia Space, which we've been working with for our Vine project, Mission-Wise. And we really became really close to them and very excited about their knowledge and expertise and leadership, as much as they got, I think, quite excited about our startup culture, being very much with a sense of urgency and a sense of outcomes, of impact, a lot of agility. And I think that the combination of a large group with a lot of knowledge and expertise and obviously the managing technical depth, engineering depth that they have, along with our agility, make a really amazing combination. So we're leveraging an existing program called IXV. It's a vehicle that flew pretty much 8 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and proven a number of key elements, including this shield for reentry. There's a new evolution of that program funded by the European Space Agency named Space Rider, which is bringing technology further. So we basically took this and we did like every geek / engineer / startup, we dismantle it. We take every bits and pieces and we say, is it useful? No, throw it away. Is it useful? Yes, but we should make it more effective. Can we reuse it? Okay, no, well, let's reuse it. And we ended up to building a design, which we're still working on with the great engineering team at Thales, Alenia Space. And, we'll be finished by next year. And then we'll start manufacturing it. And goal is to fly end of 25. Aboard, there will be a fully automated setup. We have been quite innovative in terms of providing the right level of electricity, right level of let's say, heat management and all the conditions related to a variety of payload, because we'll have plants, we'll have 3D printers manufacturing something, we'll have passive containers, we'll have bioreactors. So all this needs to be on the same vehicle without compromising each other. So a lot of work is still to be done on this. That's the core of expertise. That's what really we do inside the vehicle structure, which is done by Thales. And we are really excited because things are going really in the right direction, and we'll be offering this to a variety of customers willing to rent our factory. We probably will use a portion of this for our own programs on agriculture and viticulture, but most of it will be to rent to any industrial company interested.
Wow. Well, I mean, first things first, congratulations on this. I mean, at the end of the day, the fact that you actually have the project and that you are working towards it, I think that's something great and something to celebrate. So congratulations on that. Super excited. And I mean, we're almost to the end of the episode. So I wanted to ask you, like, what would you say it has been the biggest, maybe we can talk about the technical challenge that you have solved while building or, like starting this project, this special project that is the newest one. And talking on the business side, what would you say it has been a challenge as well?
The real challenge was certainly learning space, because when we started with Emmanuel, we had no clue. I mean, we were like geeks, so learning fast, but we had no space engineering background, so we had to learn a ton. But when you're passionate, it goes fast, and I think that engineering is the best. I mean, it's really understanding how things work. It's optimizing processes, and I love these two things: understanding and optimization. I love the iterative process. But no, that was challenging, but we did it with passion. On the business side, funding, it's super hard to fund a research project per se. So a research project in space is even more complicated. So we had to be creative. So one of the things we did is it happens that we send vine and wine. Well, we kind of sold some of these assets. So the wine was sent purely for scientific purposes. And again, we're going to publish a lot of our discovery. We're really excited about the scientific outcomes of that research. But we also realized that this bottle was unique because it went to space. It's a very well-known Bordeaux wine, and we realized that it could be of interest to wine lovers. And so we team up with Christie's, which is an auction house, and they sold the bottle quite expensively. And with the money, we could pay the researcher that worked on the wine research as much as the vine research, up to the point we got enough results to raise funds further. So that is really, in startup terms, you say bootstrap, but it has to be creative. So that's the kind of thing we did. So I think, it's exciting because when you start any entrepreneurial project, the constraints become opportunities for being creative and hopefully finding a path, a solution. So I love that.
Wow. I mean, this sounds like a really interesting path and exciting because, I mean, you guys have been through so many things and you have been here for quite a long time. So thank you so much, Jerry. And last but not least, do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs or people starting on this space path?
I'm going to say very obvious things. It's always about the use. I mean, I see too many young engineers building solutions that then look for a problem to solve. So always start with what you want to change, the impact you want to have, and then get to the right solution. And that's really listening, looking at how people live, use, and do things. So because when you have an engineering culture, you tend to see the marvel of what you're doing. So listening is a very important skill set. The second thing I would say, always choose SWP against NIH. NIH not invented here, which means start from scratch, build everything. SWP stolen with pride. You know, you can learn from others, you can reimagine things that exist, iterate from them. I think that's a path of humility, of hard work, but SWP always proved to be more effective than NIH, which is arrogance and I know better than anybody else.
Wow, that was one of the best advices I've ever heard. Thank you so much, especially talking about the startup. I mean, this is really helpful. Thank you for the definition of each one. So thank you so much for being here, Nicolas, and for sharing your experiences. Do you have any social media handles? Where can people find you? Where can people follow you or the company?
Space-cu.com, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want.
Everything. Perfect. And remember, guys, that you can also find more information, interesting articles, interesting interviews, just like this one, directly on our website, controlhub.com/builder-nation. We will love to hear from you. And once again, Nicolas, thank you so much for being here, for taking the time all the way from the other side of the world. I know it's nighttime for you, so thank you so much for being here. And it was my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.